Barrell versus Bardstown week 3, we have 9 Barrell products, we have 9 Bardstown products, and they're going head to head in a 9-week competition to find out who is the king of the blend. That's right, over the next 9 weeks, there are a possible 27 points on the board. Today we have Barrell Foundation versus Bardstown Origin Series, and we have 2 votes from our patrons already locked in here, which I don't know about yet. So let's pour these up, let's spin them up, and let's find out who is the king of the blend. Of course, we've got the blacked out blends, and we are doing this blind. This is the Solo Blind by Chris at Whiskey Noobs Podcast. Make sure you check him out. Before we get started, everybody knows time for the traditional sip. Then we'll tell you about each one of these bottles, and we'll find out which one's my favorite. Cheers, y'all. All right. Now, I'll be honest with you, this is one of the matchups that I was most looking forward to because a lot of these products, they're batch products or they're special releases. You might not be able to get them anymore, but these 2 products should be readily available on most shelves. We're starting with Barrell Foundation. This is the 5-year bourbon. This is a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys coming in at 100 proof. But again, this is a blend. This is not just 5 years. 5 years is the youngest whiskey in this. This has 8-year-old Kentucky, 5, 6, and 9-year-old Indiana, 8-year-old Tennessee, and 5 and 6-year-old Maryland with a derived mash bill of 73% corn, 23% rye, and 4% malted barley. And that, of course, is going up against our Bardstown product over here. This is coming in at 96 proof, so 96 versus 100 proof. This is a 6-year age statement. This is a 5-year age statement. This is Bardstown Bourbon Company distillate, and this is a mash bill of 60% corn, 36% rye, and 4% malted barley. So again, very similar products here. I like this matchup because there's not really room to hide, right? You're not hiding behind anything. There's no finish to hide behind. There's no dump this barrel in here because we don't like it, but you're not going to notice it in 130 proof whiskey. There's nothing to hide behind. And this is 5-year-old and 6-year-old whiskey that they've blended. So let's get into this. Let's get into glass number 1 over here again. This was pretty good, but I don't think I love it. So this glass over here, I don't want to say it's not good, but I will say it's kind of one-dimensional. There's a lot of spice going on in this, not a lot of sweet, maybe a little bit of an oak presence, but not too much, which is usually how I like it. But for this glass, it just feels like a lot of spiciness, a little bit of oak, and that's about it. Now, we're talking $45, $50, and then $55, $60 for these bottles, so it's not like you're breaking the bank with either one of these, but I do feel like between $45 and $60 that there are some better whiskeys than what I'm tasting in this glass. But let's get into this glass over here. See, I'm kind of getting the same experience with this glass over here. There's nothing really jumping out of this glass that's telling me this is an exceptional glass of whiskey. Neither should it, right? Again, these are their like shelf staples. This is what you could be picking up every day at these price points. But for me, I was kind of hoping one of these stood out a little bit over the other. Both of these, I'm not in love with either one of these. There's a little bit more sweetness on this one, which I think is like what I'm going to gear myself towards because both of these kind of have that same spiciness, and I wish I could tell you it's a rye spice. It definitely has a rye influence, but for me, it doesn't feel like I'm drinking a rye or a high rye whiskey, which is kind of weird with these rye numbers. I feel like with this glass, it's a little bit more balanced. It's a little bit better of an experience drinking it. The mouthfeel is there. The notes aren't, neither one of these have notes that are off-putting, right? Neither one of these am I like, oh, that's a bad tasting whiskey. It just feels like this one's giving me more sweetness compared to this one, which seems one-dimensional. Again, sitting next to each other, that's kind of how I'm reading it. In the first 2 rounds, both of my patrons picked the bottle that I did not pick. So both of my patrons agreed on both rounds so far. I wonder if that's going to be a trend going forward, but I also have not agreed with them, which makes me even more excited that I included 2 other people in each one of these matchups because it gives you an idea that not everything's for everybody, and I don't want you to just get my opinion. I know a lot of people follow specific creators because they follow their palate, but for me, I wanted this to be a truly fair competition with other people involved. So there's 10 patrons involved, there's 9 matchups, certain patrons got 1, and then the rest of them got 2. So again, every single one of these matchups is going to have 2 other opinions with it. I'm kind of put in a pickle here because this is where people start to lose faith in the creators in this industry because they start to think that, you know, Barrell sends me some whiskey once in a while for me to review. Bardstown, everybody loves them. We can't tell you you don't like it. But I will say for both of these right here, I'm not saying they're bad whiskeys. I just feel like neither one of these are really living up to the expectations that I was hoping they would have, especially in this matchup. I thought this was going to be back and forth, head to head, but I think I have a clear winner here, and I think I got to call it right now. If I was newer to whiskey, and people ask me all the time, you'd be very surprised how many people reach out to me and they're like, yo, what bottle should I pick up next? I don't know if I could recommend the bottle that I'm drinking in this glass. To somebody newer to whiskey or somebody who doesn't drink whiskey pretty often, again, for me, I feel like I'm like deep diving into this to get some notes that I truly enjoy, to kind of pick this apart and say, okay, it's not that bad. It does have this, it does have that. Let's remember what it is. But for somebody walking in to a liquor store for the first time asking about a bourbon, I don't think they would enjoy this one. And that's tough to say. I'm not positive they would love this one either, but for me personally, if you've been following along in my whiskey journey and you're like, you know what, I'm ready to take the dive in, I want to pick one of these bottles, which one do I pick? I would pick this glass right here. I think whether that's a $45 bottle of whiskey or a $60 bottle of whiskey, that's a fair price point on that. This one, I'm kind of hoping it's the $45 bottle of whiskey and not the $60 bottle of whiskey, but it makes all the difference in the world with 15 bucks. That's tough, and I think that's going to be the Barrell too. I mean, yeah, we've really got to call it there. I thought this was going to be closer. This is going to be my winner. I don't know if my patrons pick this glass, if they split on this, if I'm all alone again, but this is going to be my winner right now. Let's find out what it is. I'm actually devastated about this because I really didn't want it to be this easy, and I feel like I'm down, like I'm not talking well enough about this glass over here. Still a decent glass of whiskey, just not my expectations when it comes to the matchup, and the answer is Bardstown Origin Series. That's what it is. The question is, what did my patrons pick? When you do these reviews, when you just review one bottle, all you have to taste against is that bottle. So maybe your tasting notes are a little bit different than when it's tasting up against something else. This Bardstown Origin Series just outperformed this Barrell for me in this particular release. Let's find out. That's the Origin Series. This, of course, is the Barrell. And let's find out what my patrons picked. My patrons picked, which was Jason W versus Aaron OD. They both stuck together again and picked A. Now, this was completely blind to them. They didn't know that they were drinking this versus this. They just knew they were drinking one Barrell product versus one Bardstown product. I didn't even tell them the matchups beforehand. So they didn't know, oh, maybe I'm drinking the Foundation, so I'm definitely drinking the Origin Series. They didn't know anything going into it. So that's going to be A. So 3A was, yet again, we are not on the same page. 3A was Barrell Foundation. 3B was the Bardstown Origin White. That's crazy. So again, another point from me goes to Bardstown, and then 2 more points goes to Barrell. So Barrell is back in the lead. It's weird to me because, again, I mentioned it already in this video that most people follow their favorite creator because they have similar palates. And so far, I'm 0 for 3 with my patrons. And we're currently off Patreon. We're gonna find a new revenue source for that and a new place for all of us to hang out and meet. But if you want to, make sure you check me out on Discord because that's gonna be the easiest way to keep up with all communications going forward. But just another crazy matchup where me and my patrons don't agree. But hey, that's week 3. Make sure you stick around. Make sure you click that like and subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can know about all of these videos going forward. We have 6 more weeks left of this. It's still a tight race. It's anybody's game. Let's keep going and find out who is the king of the blend. But listen, a lot of you have access to these 2 bottles right here if you don't already have them on your shelf. So go out, buy these 2 bottles, do this blind, and let me know in the comment section below who you would pick. But in the meantime, make sure you check me out on Instagram. Go click that follow button over there. Click that like and subscribe here on YouTube. Please check us out on Discord. That link in the description below. Please don't drink and drive. Always drink responsibly. Stay healthy, stay happy, and stay doing blinds, especially with some shelf whiskey. Cheers, y'all.